What's going on? Jake here with Uncommon EDC, and today we're looking at the Lorzor pop-up wallet. Lorzor reached out to me to see if there were any of their products I'd be interested in taking a look at, and although I ended up choosing two, the pop-up wallet was the one that immediately grabbed my attention. And the reason for that is it has two features that I don't have in any of my other wallets. The first being the integrated Apple Airtag slot, and so it does not ship with an Airtag. You're gonna have to provide that yourself, but it has a dedicated slot for it, which is nice because a lot of wallets either aren't gonna have that, or maybe you can put it in like a coin pocket, or if it has a dedicated coin pocket, but not gonna have a dedicated space where it's not cannibalizing the features of something else in order to use it. So really like that that's there. Now when people see an Airtag on a wallet, they're probably thinking it's there for theft deterrent or even theft recovery, and to be honest, that's probably not the case. If this were to get taken, someone's going to remove the content and then just toss the wallet, Airtag and all, especially with it being so visible, they know it's there. They're just going to toss it, and maybe they like the wallet, they remove the Airtag, replace it with one of their own, and just toss your Airtag. Either way, you're probably not getting it back. And so the real reason it's here is if you end up losing the wallet. And so say you leave it at a grocery store for some reason and you get home, maybe an honest customer found it, turned it into the cashier. You can look at your Airtag and see exactly where it's at, know exactly where to go without having to retrace your day and figure out where you last saw it. And when you get to the store, you can check with the cashier, but if it hasn't been found, it may be wherever you left it. And if you don't know, that can take a while to find it. So maybe you left it on the cereal aisle on the shelf while you're grabbing your cereal, or maybe it fell out of your pocket when you were getting into your car, or in your cart while you're removing the groceries and it's in the cart return now. This is going to get you right in that general area. They're extremely accurate, and once you get close enough, you can ping it so you can audibly hear exactly where it is. And so I really love that feature about it, but I also loved a second feature on this, and that's that this wallet's sort of a card holder slash tri-fold leather wallet hybrid, which I showed a little bit earlier. And the card holder has a really neat feature that's not featured on any of my other card holders, and that's it. Usually with a card holder, you would push out all of the cards, fan through them, find the one you're looking for, push all of the rest back, and just remove the one you're looking for. And so that can all take 10-15 seconds. This one has a switch that you can use with the wallet open or closed, so you can still access those cards without unfolding the wallet. And that switch not only ejects the cards, but you can see it fans the cards out as well. So visually, you're able to identify the one that you're looking for, just kind of saving you a step in that process and speeding everything up each time you're making a transaction. So going to save you a lot of time over time the more that you use this. That switch is also durability tested for 30,000 uses, so should last basically a lifetime, but on the chance that these end up getting stuck in there, there is a manual override here on the bottom. You can see that help with the arrow to our ejector hole, and so I thought that was kind of cute, the little help label. But that ejector does come with a tool to eject it. I would imagine it works just like any of the CD tray slots if you ever used an ejector on one of those, where you can unfold a paper clip, put it in there. A Victorinox toothpick probably works, eyeglass repair screwdriver, really just any slim object that's kind of stiff and stout, not going to break off in it. You should be able to push it up, and you can see, well, maybe you can't see, but if you look in there, it's just kind of pushing a tray, and so you'll be pushing the whole thing no matter how narrow the object that you're pushing it out with is. Now on top of those two features, there's also other features that I think are going to sell a lot of people on this wallet. The fact that it's a hybrid between a card holder and a trifold means that we're getting a dedicated ID window. There's a cache slot. It's also RFID blocking, magnetic closure, and so a lot of really cool features on this wallet, and you can get it for $49.99, which I find to be pretty reasonable for a wallet with this many features. But if you order it on Amazon, at least at the time I'm recording this video, they have one of those checkmark boxes where you can take 30% more off, bringing the price down to $35. And so I'll make sure to leave a link in the description to that listing. I have no idea how long that promotion will be running, but really, really great deal on this wallet. The wallet itself is available in a couple different colors. So this is genuine full grain leather. This is the black version. There's also a vintage brown leather, and you can also choose the stitching color from a couple different options. So this is the silver stitches, but there's like red and orange as well. They have the Lorzor logo stamped on either side. I guess I would probably qualify this as the front if we're kind of looking at it like a book. That's how it opens. And the Airtag portion is the back, but you have the logo on both sides. Really nice, clean looking design overall. Exterior dimensions before we get into it are about 3.94 inches tall, 2.36 inches wide, so pretty minimalist in that regard, but the thickness is right about 0.79 inches thick. And to be honest, for me, that's a little bit on the thicker side than I would prefer, but I was comparing it to my current wallet, and it's really not that much thicker, and I've never had an issue with the thickness of that one, and so not going to be too big a deal. I do plan on front pocket carrying this over back pocket, just because I prefer front pocket carry for my wallets, and so a little bit on the thick side in that regard, where maybe there's going to be a little bit of the imprinting, especially with that Airtag side out, but doesn't feel too cumbersome or anything like that. The leather feels nice and premium, really soft, and just well executed, clean stitching all the way around. Opening it up, we can see that we have the card holder in the center here, has the Lorzor on the side, and then our ejector. You can still use it with it open as well, obviously open and closed. This is a magnetic strip for that magnetic closure that's going to keep everything nice and secure and from flopping around. I think if you probably put too many cards on the leather portion of this wallet, it may get to the point where it kind of weakens the strength of that leather because it's pushing out, but I think I only have 2 cards in that slot, and so not enough to break that. And it's a pretty strong magnet, so I would imagine you'd really have to overload it in order to overpower that magnet. But nice magnetic closure on there, and again, it tri-folds the full direction out. And so we have our ID window in the front with that thumb slot in order to remove it. You can even put more than 1 card here as well. You can put 2 or 3 cards there. There's an extra card slot over here, which is good for a couple additional cards or business cards, small things like that. And then you have another dedicated card slot over here, which again, I have about 2 cards in right now, but you can put as a couple more there as well. Overall, it's rated for 10 to 12 cards. In the card slot or the card holder portion, I put 5 cards, which seems to be about the capacity of it. About 5 cards, 4 or 5 works really well. Wouldn't overload it, because that's when it's going to start to get stuck. If you put too many cards in here, it is going to jam it up because it just doesn't have the thickness to accommodate more than that. And so that's where you want to keep that in mind. Really nice clean stitching on the interior as well. And then we have our cash slot. And so I would imagine you could probably actually put the cash in here fully open and have it just kind of sticking out, and when you fold it, it'll be fine. But I prefer it folded. Yeah, definitely. I prefer it folded though, where it just has that cleaner look. So folding it in half, there's more than enough room here. So if you're from another country, have larger bills than in the US, there's more than enough room for a folded bill in here. And this is also where we put our Airtag. So it's nice and covered, but there's a slot back here that opens up, and a dedicated slot for that. And then it's kind of cut into there as well with this plastic molding to fit it with that Airtag or the Apple logo sticking out. But you can see once I pull that out, it's really easy to remove this. You can add or remove it in a matter of a couple seconds, which is why I said it's so visible that if someone's trying to take this for nefarious purposes, they can easily pop that out in a matter of seconds and just toss it into the nearest bush. So wouldn't think of it again as that theft deterrent. But overall, really cool wallet. It can fit up to 10 to 12 cards, so plenty of card space. And for me, I mentioned it being a little bit thick. My dad's someone who really likes to carry a ton of cards. I think this is probably still more narrow than his actual wallet that he carries. And so it's not so thick, just for a kind of minimalist wallet, a little bit on the thick side, but definitely something to keep in mind there. I do have another Lorzor wallet we'll be taking a look at in the next couple weeks. That one's a little bit more on the traditional side. So if you're not so into the card holder, but still want some of those other features, that one does feature those. So definitely stay tuned for that. Hit the subscribe button. Like I said, it should be going live in the next couple of weeks. Would love to hear your thoughts on the pop-up wallet down in the comments below. As usual, if you enjoyed the video, consider liking, commenting, subscribing, checking out some of my other content. All helps the channel out a ton, and I hope you have a great one. Take care.